Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Peter Kima. It is Friday morning. It is 8:30. As you can see, I'm outside, but I'm here as Brent Musburger, and ode to my boy Brent Musburger used to say. You were looking live at the Kima Real Estate Group headquarters. Today, I'm out here at our picnic table that we keep out front because it's just such a beautiful morning. The sun is shining, and quite frankly, it's just too nice out to be inside first thing this morning. So went out for a really long walk with Ozzy this morning and watched the sunrise and really enjoyed that. And I got to thinking, you know what, I want to do coffee talk somewhere different today. And I thought, well, why don't we just do it outside somewhere? And it came to my mind that, well, hell, we've got the right place for it. So here we are, we're sitting outside at the Kima Real Estate Group. If you're ever over in this area and you want to stop by for a cup of coffee, and I mean this sincerely, we always have coffee, we always have Dunky, and we've got the picnic table, we've got the cafe. Come hang out with us. We'd love to see you. If you ever just want to chat, run ideas, just talk about the market or whatever, come by and see us here. We are at the old liquor store, by the way. For those of you that don't know where our office is, we're the old liquor store here in Wake Forest, the one over behind, you know where Lowe's Home Improvement is? Take that road all the way to the end past Sherwin-Williams. That building there, owned by Focus Design Builders. Shout out to Focus. We're in that building, and it's just such a great spot. Anyhow, but you can see what's happened. Summer has arrived, right? We are now here. The sun is hot. It's a lot hotter than it has been, but we've had the longest spring that I can remember in forever. I mean, a long time. And but summer is now here, and you know, we're going to go ahead and hunker down for the next couple of months. You got to be in by 10 and out by 2 again, kind of a thing, right? But I'll tell you what has really suffered this year. While I've enjoyed the long spring, what's really suffered are all your warm season grasses, your zoysias, your Bermudas, things of that nature. So many of those lawns have not come in yet. But those of you with fescue or weeds, you guys are loving this weather, just loving it. But now that the humidity's coming back, our grasses are going to love it too. So anyhow, enough about that. So recently had some friends of ours, the Pappalardos, went to Italy and ate their way through Italy, and it was really cool. And I can't wait to learn more about their trip. It was interesting, by the way. Kim told me that the pasta making class they made pasta without eggs. Like it's like special flour and just water. And she said the pasta is not quite as heavy as it is stateside. And so I'm curious to learn about that. So that's recently happened. We talked about all the good food there and what have you. And then, you know, we were talking about here in the office yesterday. I'm from Germany. Somebody else in my office has German roots. And we were talking about sauerbraten and rouladen and all that fun stuff yesterday. I got to thinking about that. And then last night, Jen and I watched an episode of this cooking show in Italy, of all places. And a guy was going to do something creative with cabbage, which got me to think about making Gulumkis, right? And when I cook Gulumkis, I love to like be in the kitchen by myself. What are Gulumkis? Gulumkis are, hey, Diana, how are you? Oh, no Ozzy today. No Ozzy today. He was on a walk with me this morning. But Gulumkis are cabbage rolls, and I know different cultures call them different things. And it's got hamburger and rice and different things in it. And they're just, oh, man. Polish hand grenades is the nickname that I grew up with, but we call them Gulumkis. Jennifer, who also grew up with a Polish background and Eastern Bloc background, used to call them Halupkis. But I know so many of you call them so many different things. But anyhow, when I get in the kitchen, I love to put on some just good music and just cook, and it's just a blast. And so a little known secret, little known fact about me. When I was in high school, I thought really long and hard about going to culinary school and becoming a chef. Back when guys really weren't kind of doing that, it wasn't cool yet. There was no Food Network, right? We had what's her name, Julia Child on TV, and I used to love Julia Child. But I used to love to cook. I've cooked since I was a kid, and I just love it, right? It's my only creative outlet. Like I can't draw, I can't paint. I can't do any of those things. I like things when I see them, and I like art, but I'm just terrible at it. The one place you can open up a pantry and you give me 5 ingredients, I can make you dinner. But yeah, so I thought about going to culinary art school and just didn't. But it got me to thinking about like maybe making some Halupkis or Gulumpkis, as we call them, maybe this weekend potentially. I can see what the status of cabbage. You need big heads of cabbage to do that, right? So yeah, just giving it some thought. And then I got to thinking about food just in general here in Wake Forest, and just not just Wake Forest, but Wake County and the general area. And is there a specialty item? Is there a food item in our area that, and I don't care where you're from, in your area, that is just so good? Like every time you go there, you get that item. In other words, I'll give you an example. Here's my example. Thai Cafe in Wake Forest, you have to get the coconut soup. No other coconut soup compares to the coconut soup at Thai Cafe. And there's a calamari at an old restaurant in Atlanta that was that way, but I won't get into that. But anyhow, so the coconut soup at Thai Cafe, do you have something that you just, it is like a hidden gem that we all have to go try? I would love for you to share that with me and let me know, because we're always looking for like the best, right? The hidden secrets. So share that with me. Let me know what you find and what you love. Got a chance the other day to go catch our local baseball team. It's a collegiate team, summer league team here called the Wake Forest FUNGO. Shout out to Joe John and Julie John and all the work they do. And Mayor Jones, who's a big supporter, and Alan Mitchell with Mitchell Heating and Cooling, they're the big sponsor there. So shout out to all of them. And it was great. You got to see so many townsfolk out there. It's good quality baseball. But more than anything else, you get to see kids doing something they love. These kids must love it, because in the summertime they come back from playing ball in college, and they all come back together and create new teams, and the networking, and it's just a really wholesome, fun environment. And it's part of what makes Wake Forest, right? Last night was special for me. Last night I had the honor of speaking at an event where the governor spoke, and I don't care about your political affiliations, but the governor was there and he spoke, and I had the honor, and I'm humbled to have had the honor to have spoken there. And quite frankly, I looked around that room last night, and it was the fabric of Wake Forest, right? And every town has some sort of group or people or something that kind of binds it, holds it together. And in Wake Forest, it truly is the people and the history. And I just absolutely felt so blessed last night to be there. And so when I think about like this FUNGO baseball team, at some point it's going to be a historical part of Wake Forest, and that's pretty cool to take part in that right now. So I feel so like moved right now about living here and how grateful I am to be here. So just a little thought there. That being said, talking about elected officials like our governor, it is elected official season. In other words, it's voter season, right? This year we've got some serious elections. Depending on where you are in the country, the elections can be more important. I don't care if your local elections or your national elections. Please, I'm asking you to do your civic duty. Get out there and vote. Be active, find out what's going on. I'm not asking you to campaign. I'm not asking you to put signs in the yard, things of that nature. I know so many of you hate signs there. All you got to do is log on to any community information page and realize that people hate these signs. But that being said, get out and get the vote out there, right? Quite frankly, it's really important that we do. And honestly, here we have such low voter turnout in our country that it's except for national elections, it's really shocking to me, because it's the local elections that really impact your day-to-day life. So anyhow, if you get a chance and you want to make a difference, spend the next few months listening and then cast your vote in November. All right, last thing I'm going to leave you with today, and that is just my tips for getting your house ready for the market. These are really simple, easy tips. I said there's 3. I'm actually going to give you 1 or 2 more. Number 1, get a power washer. Hire somebody to do it, or do it yourself. But wash your walkway and your driveway and the walkway leading up to your house, right? I'm assuming your house is clean already. If not, certainly power wash your house. By the way, pro tip, don't ever let a power washer power wash your windows. Quickest way to break the seals in the windows using a power washer. Yes, as soon as they're done power washing, those windows are sparkly. But I'm going to be honest with you. I see more broken seals, when the windows get kind of foggy because of the pressure from the power washer. But power wash your driveway, power wash your walkways, and the sidewalk out in front of your house. So that's pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 2, after or before you power wash, bring in fresh mulch. And for the love of God, don't use red mulch. And I know this upsets some people. Don't use red mulch belongs at McDonald's. Don't use it. Please don't use it. And I know that offends some people, and I don't care. I don't care. Please use dark brown mulch or pine or pine bark nuggets, which is my favorite, by the way. But do that last, right before you get the house ready for market. So you want to go ahead and put the mulch down. The next day you want to power wash to clean up any dirt from the mulch. And the reason we do that last, the reason we do dark mulch is because, well, this isn't a 10-minute thing, Brian. I always go 15. But the reason we do dark mulch is because it sets off well from a house on a camera. And the reason we do it last minute is for that reason. Now, if you're on a budget, if you can't afford to add mulch, or let's say you're buying, and we have sellers sometimes that can't spend a dime, right? What we advise you to do is get a rake, turn over the mulch you have, water it down right before the photographer takes his pictures. It'll create a very similar effect for you. And then my final piece of advice, and again, these are all simple things, but sometimes you just don't know. please add some color to the front of your house. And how can you do that? Well, some people say add flowers and stuff. It's as simple as putting an American flag up in front of your home. Get rid of all of the tchotchkes and all the other stuff. Just put up a simple American flag. It's the easiest way to add color and emotion. Anyhow, there's your pro tips for the week. I'm so grateful for all of you. Honestly, if you're in a position right now, like I have been in the past, where you need somebody to talk to and you just don't have that person right now, you can call me. And I'm going to tell you something else. There's a lot of people in our town and in your life that you can call. I believe that. But certainly call me. I love you all. If you're here watching this, it means an awful lot to me. Thank you all so much. For those of you that were there last night in support, thank you for that as well. I'll see you in a week. Take care.